Are our youth facing a new mental health crisis? Is climate anxiety the root cause? How is this affecting the younger generation, and what can be done to support them? These are just a few of the questions we'll be exploring in today's video as we delve into the topic of climate anxiety and its potential impact on America's youth. From the devastating effects of natural disasters to the overwhelming feeling of helplessness in the face of global climate change, it's no secret that the environment is a source of stress for many people. But how is this manifesting in the mental health of our young people? Join us as we seek to understand the connection between climate anxiety and mental health and discuss ways we can support the next generation in navigating this complex issue. As we've already mentioned, the environment is a source of stress for many people, but for America's youth, it can feel like an especially overwhelming and daunting issue. From raging wildfires to devastating hurricanes, natural disasters are becoming more frequent and more intense. And it's hard not to feel a sense of powerlessness in the face of such events. But it's not just the immediate effects of these disasters that are causing stress. It's the long-term implications of climate change that can be truly overwhelming. For young people, the thought of a future filled with extreme weather events, dwindling natural resources, and the potential collapse of entire ecosystems can be truly terrifying. And it's not just the fear of the unknown that's causing stress. It's the knowledge that their own actions and the actions of their generation will have a profound impact on the health and well-being of the planet. The weight of this responsibility can be overwhelming, and it's no wonder that many young people are feeling anxious and stressed about the state of the environment. But it's important to remember that there is hope, and there are steps we can take to support the mental health of our youth and work towards a more sustainable and healthy future. As we discussed, climate anxiety is a very real and very valid concern for many young people in America. And unfortunately, it's not just a passing phase or a fleeting worry. For some, it's becoming a full-blown mental health crisis. The constant stream of dire headlines and the ever-present sense of impending disaster can take a toll on anyone, but for young people who are still developing their coping mechanisms and finding their place in the world, it can be especially difficult to manage. And when you add in the uncertainty and unpredictability of the current political climate, it's easy to see how climate anxiety can spiral out of control. If left unchecked, climate anxiety can lead to symptoms like depression, anxiety, insomnia, and even physical health problems. It can also have a negative impact on academic performance and overall quality of life. In short, climate anxiety is not something to be taken lightly. It's a serious issue that requires attention and support. In recent years, a landmark legal case has brought the issue of climate anxiety and its impact on young people to the forefront of the national conversation. Thousands of young people from across the United States have taken the bold step of suing the federal government, alleging that their constitutional rights to life, liberty, and property have been violated by the government's failure to address climate change. The plaintiffs in this case argue that the federal government has long been aware of the damaging effects of greenhouse gas emissions on the environment, but has failed to take sufficient action to reduce these emissions. As a result, they allege, the government has allowed the destruction of the Earth's natural systems, causing irreparable harm to the planet and its inhabitants. This case has garnered widespread attention and has put the issue of climate anxiety and the government's role in addressing it at the center of the national conversation. And while the outcome of this case is still uncertain, it has brought much-needed attention to the importance of addressing climate change and the impact it has on the mental health of young people. In the landmark legal case we discussed earlier, it's not just teenagers and young adults who are speaking out about the impact of climate change on their mental health. Plaintiffs as young as 8 years old have also filed lawsuits against the federal government. These young plaintiffs argue that the government's failure to address climate change is not only harming the environment, but also their own well-being and future prospects. They point to the increasing frequency and intensity of natural disasters as evidence of the government's neglect and argue that their constitutional rights are being violated as a result. It's a bold and unprecedented move, and one that highlights just how seriously young people are taking the issue of climate change and its impact on their lives. And while the outcome of these lawsuits is still uncertain, they have sparked important conversations about the role of the government in addressing climate change and the ways in which it affects the mental health of young people. The landmark legal case we've been discussing is making history as it becomes the first ever climate change lawsuit to go to trial in the United States. This is a significant milestone, as it marks the first time that the issue of climate change and its impact on the mental health of young people will be examined in a court of law. The trial is expected to last several weeks, and will feature testimony from a wide range of experts and witnesses, including scientists, economists, and mental health professionals. It's a complex and multifaceted case, and one that has the potential to shape the future of climate policy in the United States. As the climate change lawsuit we've been discussing moves forward, one key witness has been a forensic psychiatrist who has been tasked with evaluating the harm caused by climate change to children. This expert witness has testified that the stress and anxiety caused by climate change is having a real and measurable impact on the mental health of young people, and that this harm is likely to continue into the future unless action is taken to address the issue. The psychiatrist has described the psychological effects of climate change as a second injury that is being inflicted on children, on top of the physical harm caused by natural disasters and other environmental factors. They have argued that the government has a duty to protect the mental health of young people, and that failing to address climate change is a clear violation of this duty. This testimony is just one piece of the complex puzzle that is the climate change lawsuit, but it serves as a reminder of the very real and tangible harm that climate change is causing to the mental health of young people. It's a sobering thought, but one that should serve as a call to action for all of us to work together to create positive change and support the well-being of our youth. As we discussed, climate anxiety is a very real and valid concern for many young people in America, and social media has played a significant role in amplifying their voices and bringing this issue to the forefront of the national conversation. On the one hand, social media has given young people a platform to share their stories and experiences, and has helped to raise awareness about the impact of climate change on their mental health. It's allowed them to connect with others who are facing similar challenges and to feel less alone in their struggles. However, social media can also create pressure and amplify negative messages, creating an echo chamber that can further fuel feelings of anxiety and hopelessness. It's important for young people to be mindful of the content they consume on social media, and to seek out sources of information and support that are grounded in fact and reality. It's essential that adults in positions of power take their role in protecting children seriously. This means acknowledging the impact of climate change on the mental health of young people and taking meaningful steps to address this issue. It also means being supportive and understanding of the unique challenges that young people are facing in the face of climate change. This can involve providing resources and support to help them cope with their anxiety and stress, and helping them to feel empowered to make a difference in the world. Adults in positions of power can also play a critical role in advocating for policies that address climate change and its impact on the mental health of young people. This can involve supporting legislation that reduces greenhouse gas emissions, invests in renewable energy, and promotes sustainable practices. By taking their role in protecting children seriously, adults in power can help to create a brighter and more sustainable future for all of us. It's not an easy task, but it's an important one, and one that we all have a role to play in. There are several steps we can take to support the mental health of our youth and work towards a more sustainable and healthy future. One solution is to educate and empower young people to take action on climate change. This can involve providing resources and support to help them understand the science behind climate change and the ways in which it's affecting the planet. It can also involve giving them the tools and resources they need to take action in their own communities and make a difference in the world. Another solution is to work towards creating positive social and political change. This can involve advocating for policies that reduce greenhouse gas emissions, invest in renewable energy, and promote sustainable practices. It can also involve supporting organizations and initiatives that are working towards a more sustainable future. By educating and empowering youth and working towards positive social and political change, we can all play a role in creating a brighter and more sustainable future for all of us. Thanks for watching another episode of End of the World. We hope you enjoyed learning about the various end-of-the-world scenarios and how to prepare for them. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to stay up to date on all our future episodes. As always, stay safe and be prepared for whatever the future may hold. Until next time, this is the End of the World signing off.